Contrary to unpopular belief, women can and do find fabulous treasures, just like their male peers. As a woman metal detectorist and treasure hunter, I have experienced and seen other women endure social media harassment as well as stalking. Tonight, I will share my thoughts and tips I've learned over the years navigating the social media tightrope. Social media harassment is a comment that is threatening, provocative, demeaning, or accusatory. I will share the do's and don'ts of posting on social media, as well as how I deal with the trolls. We will discuss safety out in the field as well as the safe oasis in the sea of social media, Women Only Metal Detecting, founded by our guest Tim Suggs. Welcome to Digging with Deej and my treasure hunting live stream, available most Tuesday evenings at 5:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And should you miss the show, you can always find it available for replay on my YouTube channel playlists. Please grab your beverage of choice and sit back and enjoy the show that will begin in approximately 1 minute. Welcome, friends, to Digging with Deej. Let me look at the comments. The first one in my house was Wild Pinto, and it's not switching. There we go. What's going on? We've had problems with our internet. I hope you guys can hear me. The internet was down in Michigan for a couple of companies since this morning, and it came back up about 3 o'clock, something like that. Okay, get out of my picture. Let's see. So, hi, Ed, flash in your pan. Hi, G Lassie. Let's see, who have I missed? I'm backing up. Jim Cloak, welcome back. Jamie Blistering Barnacles from across the pond. Roman with Ringo, welcome back. D Spud in my house. Cynthia Swearingen. Kay's digging it. Let's see. Still scrolling. Sorry, I started a little bit late. Mark Thomas, welcome back. Audra, Jersey History Hunter. Bill, Papa Rouse, What's in the Dirt, who streams tonight at 9 o'clock. Ed, Flash in Your Pan, streams at 8 o'clock with a guest tonight. Wow, 25 months, Mark Thomas. Wow, thank you. Bonnie, Whispers from the Dirt in my house. Wild Pinto, he was the first one in the house. Okay, let's go back the other way and see if I've missed anybody. Roman with Ringo, I got him. Talca Detector from Chile, welcome back. Still looking to see if I've missed anybody. Mud SWAT in my house. Mark Miller, the asylum in my house. Digging times past. Wow, 22 in my house already. Wowzers. So sorry I got started late. Of all the times, the second time now my doctor's called me right when I'm supposed to start. So anyhow, let's see. So we're gonna have some giveaways tonight. Hi, Mike Lackerman. Welcome back. I'm gonna try to sprinkle them in around, throughout. Let's see if I'm missing it. It's Susie Q96 in my house. So the first thing I want to do is put I have this thing for those of you that may be watching but not in the chat. What I call the world-class treasure hunters list. And I've got 4 people, now 5 I need to mention. The first people I need to mention are the missing and injured from this morning's bridge collapse in Maryland. Jackson has had his eyes glued to that TV because this is not far from his hometown where he grew up. Okay. So please keep the families of the missing and the injured in your thoughts and prayers. Johnson Family Adventures in my house. Pick and Bean, welcome back. Okay. Number 2, Jeremy of Finding Alabama. I don't know if everybody saw his last video. Please keep his family in your thoughts and prayers. He's taking a hiatus from YouTube because of family illness. So keep him in your thoughts and prayers. Watch some of his videos, in his absence. Maybe you missed one somewhere. It's Susie Q96 in the house. Keep her in your thoughts and prayers. She's been dealing with some medical issues. Keep Cynthia Swearingen's family in your thoughts and prayers. Cynthia's got family in the hospital. And now, keep me in your thoughts and prayers. I have to have some testing done, as per the phone call I just got. So, the other thing I wanted to talk about is the 5th annual Detect Michigan Seeded Hunt. Okay? It is scheduled for Father's Day weekend, which is June 14th through 16th. It's put on by the Detect Michigan Facebook group, who is the brainchild and founder and brainchild is Casey Ewers. I've been to this event twice. One of my sponsors is a sponsor of that event, so he likes me to be there, and I really enjoy going. Let's see. It's a seated hunt, but there is an availability to camp for the weekend, and a lot of people do go camping for the whole weekend. They just make a weekend of it. The tickets are $50 and the camping spots are $25. Those are paid for separately. Last year, the campground was updated because they had a new owner, and they had beautiful bathrooms and showers, nice bathrooms and showers. This year they upgraded. In the last year, they've upgraded again, and now there is electric at the campsites. So that's a plus. Now, Casey normally only sells an average of 130 tickets. I don't know. I don't think he's going to surpass that, but if he did, it wouldn't be by much. So there's only 26 tickets left, folks. So, sales end May 1st or when the tickets sell out, when they're sold out, whichever comes first. So you can go to the Detect Michigan Facebook page to get information on it. And we actually have people coming from out of state for this hunt. I think last year there were 3,500 coins, jewelry, tokens buried. So, and they put on a separate kids hunt as well. Okay. This year, my sponsor, First Texas of Technetics, Fisher, and Bounty Hunter, they are giving away to some lucky kid for the kids hunt a metal detector. And then for the adult hunt, they're giving away a pinpointer. So keep that in mind, folks. Let's see. Also, I put a community post out on my Facebook page and my YouTube community page that if you want me to share your stickers with the people that are there, I'm going to have stickers available for people so they can check your channels out, try to help everybody in the community. So just be sure to send them to me well in advance of that weekend. Now, some people, I already have their sticker. I already have plenty of stickers like Can You Dig It, Dawn and Shelly? I already have plenty of theirs. And Tim and Kathy, Team Lynch, Beach Metal Detectorist, I have plenty of theirs. I think I have more of those 2 stickers than anything else. And then Julie Banshee Mining. Now, the camp that we're at used to be an LDMA gold prospecting camp. And you will have a chance to try your hand at gold panning because they will have a sluice running during the weekend. You can see how it all works. You can bring your gold panning stuff and pan for gold. They have dirt brought in, giant piles of dirt brought in, and you can pan to your heart's content. So if you want to get an idea of what the Detect Michigan seated hunt is like, the weekend is like, I have 2 videos on my YouTube channel that after this is over, sometime this evening, I will put links to those in the description of this video. Okay. So as I said, I put out last night's, we were having trouble with our internet. And then come to find out all of Michigan was having trouble with their internet. So what I wanted to put out in the afternoon, I couldn't until last night, the teaser video for tonight's show and that. So as I said in that, I'm not bashing men by no way. Okay. This is for men and women, this stream. I chose the title because that title had the best score for the app that I used to help me choose my titles. If I had made it generic where it could have been men or women, it didn't score at all. So that's why I chose that score. Hi, Carol. Welcome to Digging with Deej. So, you're going to find out it's not just women that get stalked here, folks. Okay. There's men that have been stalked too. Hi, Johnny Small Pepper. So if you get a chance, please share out the stream. It'll really help. I'm not monetizing this stream until after it's done airing, until after the live is over. This isn't a money maker or anything like that. You know what I'm saying? So also, I have a pinned message at the top of the chat. First Texas has just given us, all of us that are sponsored, a discount code to use on any Technetics, Fisher, Bounty Hunter, metal detecting equipment, gear, machines, pinpointers, 10% off one-time purchase per email address. Hi, Mandy's Candy. So if you're thinking about getting that 5-inch puck coil, or you're thinking about getting the 12D double D coil, you'll get a discount. So, all right, what else do I have here? I think I got all of that. After me tonight at 8 o'clock is Ed Flash in Your Pan. Last week, Ed had our own favorite girl, Julie of Banshee Mining, was his guest, and what a great show it was. So I'm sure it's available for replay on Flash in Your Pans YouTube channel. Tonight, Ed's guest is Hot Mess Fishing. So 8 o'clock tonight. Be there to support Ed. Then 9 o'clock tonight, Papa Roos, What's in the Dirt? Bill, who's also in the chat, he live streams at 9 o'clock. And they talk about everything under the sun, you know, metal detecting, you name it. So anyhow, let's see, where are we at? 5:47. Our guest won't arrive until 6 o'clock. So let's see. Let's give away a t-shirt, okay? Behind me here, let me get up. Behind me here are Bounty Hunter, Fisher, and Technetics t-shirts, and a Technetics bumper sticker, and some Technetics hats, and one Technetics Finds bag, okay? Thank you, Johnny, for sharing. I appreciate it. So what I'm going to do is you need to put in the comments, and for those of you just watching, to be able to take part in the giveaways, you got to be a subscriber, okay? Because I have a subscriber only chat to keep the trolls out of here. Hi, Silver Assassin. So let me go. Let's see. I think I have to go into present. I haven't done this in a couple weeks. Share screen. There's that. And we're going to share this. So this is a giveaway tool, okay? The word you need to type in the chat in all capital letters, hashtag safety, S-A-F-E-T-Y. S-A-F-E-T-Y. Okay? Okay, thank you, Wild Pinto. So I have a list of the sizes that I have in these shirts, okay? I will mail these shirts anywhere in the U.S. And if I draw somebody outside of the U.S., I will mail them a star note, an American Star Note. Okay? All right. So you'll win something along with some of my stickers. You'll win something no matter where you live in the world. Okay. Now, the sizes I have available, I have one large Technetics shirt left. I have, let's see, two Fisher 2X extra larges. I have two Technetics 2Xs. I have two Bounty Hunters 2Xs. I have two Fisher extra larges. I have two Technetics extra larges, two Bounty Hunters extra larges, two Fishers larges, and two Bounty Hunter large. That's what I have left in t-shirts. Hi, Ronnie. Did you get your package yet? So if you just came in the chat for a chance to win either a t-shirt or an American Star Note if you live outside of the U.S., a t-shirt if you live inside the U.S., put the word hashtag safety in the chat. Very cool, Mudswat. Trying to see if Ron E. answered me or not. I don't see it yet. 33 in the house. Wow. Okay. Everybody, you got 5 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good luck, everybody. Or wait, we gotta see how many comments we got. We got only 11 entries. 12. Come on, don't be shy. 13. 13 out of 33. There's 20 people who haven't entered. Hashtag safety, SAFETY, in capital letters. 14. So if you live in the United States, you have an opportunity to win a free t-shirt of your choice, of the ones I have here from First Texas Products. If you live outside of the United States, I will mail you a United States Star Note. So you win regardless of wherever you live. Because it would cost me probably $30 to send a t-shirt to England, as much as I would like to. And now that I know that I may have some medical bills coming up here, I really can't afford to spend that for international shipping. So $18 so far out of 33. All right. Got 10 seconds, and then we're drawing. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good luck, everybody. Whoa, Mark Thomas. Woohoo! Congratulations. Congratulations. The internet is still kind of slow. That's kind of wild. That's kind of wild. Congratulations, Mark. Okay, Mark. What size shirt do you want? So I can mark. Hi, David Alfonsetti Art. Hi, Dave Hart Acousticized. Hi, Rustic Redhead. Hi, Digging Times Past. I'm watching. Mark. He won a Technetic shirt last year. Okay. So what you want, a Fisher extra large? Okay, let me find it on here. Okay, so that means we only have one of those left. You got it, Mark. All right. So, what time is it? 5:55. 5 more minutes, and our guest should be showing up here. You want a Technetic shirt from you, Audra. Very cool. Well, congratulations, Mark. I appreciate you being here. 29 in the house now. Yeah, he won it on her live. I'll be giving those away till they're gone, you guys. So, Torchy on the run in my house. Welcome back. Paul, American Woodland Relics in my house. Yay, Paul and Belinda. Very cool. So, my back is still slowly healing. Um, I can't complain. I've gone over 2 years without throwing my back out, and then I didn't really throw it out, but I tweaked it. So it's taken some time. And our guest has arrived, you guys. So let me introduce to you the king of Facebook, the Facebook mogul, Tim Suggs. Hi,
Hi,
Tim.
Beach. How
How
are
you
you?
doing? I'm good.
Great, 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 great.
So let me get my list of questions here. All right. So Tim has been, what do you call your position? Tim has created how many Facebook groups in a year?
More than Facebook can keep up with, and that's the truth. I currently tell everybody I'm running 450 plus because
Wow.
Facebook can't even show me all of my groups in one place. So it's hard to count them, you know.
Right, right,
Hey, look, we
right.
got matching hats on.
Yeah, we do. Technetics.
Good
he
old
has
Technetics.
he has two T2s just like me.
Yep,
So
yep.
so what was your profession before you started metal detecting in Facebook groups?
Well, I've been metal detecting since the early 70s. And so I've been in the game a long time, but I was a police officer. I have
Mhm.
been a police officer at every level you could possibly imagine someone could be a cop at. I've
Mhm.
worked for municipalities, I've worked for counties, I've worked for states, I've worked for the military. I was a military police with the Air Force out in Oklahoma City for six years. And I've been a federal law enforcement officer. So yeah, everybody and their brother has pinned a badge on my chest at some point or another.
Yeah. So Tim is the founder of the Facebook group Women's Only Metal Detecting. Okay. What influenced you to start a woman's only metal detecting group, Tim?
Well, I kind of have to start at the beginning and tell you where it all started. Um, Back when I got on Facebook, I noticed that there wasn't anything as far as local resources for me, here in Birmingham, Alabama.
Mhm.
So that was the first thing I did was I created a Facebook group for Alabama. And it didn't take too long before I realized, well, hey, I go to Georgia, I go to Tennessee, I go to Florida a lot. Um, so why not create groups for those people and I could exchange ideas with them and they could tell me information about their locale and whatnot, open up new avenues of hunting grounds. And I did. And probably within about 3 months, I was running 10, 15 groups. And then I started getting the requests. And the requests were from people out Midwest, people that knew me from my Midwest time. And they were like, hey, why don't you create a group for us? We like the way you're running your Alabama group and these other groups. We need something that's professionally run. And I said, sure. So I created a couple on request, and then the little light bulb lit up, logic kicked in, and it was like, while I'm here, let's make this a marathon all nighter. And I'll create a metal detecting Facebook group for every U.S. state. So before you knew it, I was pushing 70 groups. And over the next year or so, and I've been doing this in Facebook for close to 15 years now. Um, Over the next year or so, I started noticing that the attitude towards women, excuse me, as well as the actions toward women were totally different than when two guys got together and bumped knuckles, went out and metal detected. And I really couldn't figure out why, because I had promoted this sport for quite a few years on Facebook as a, sorry, I had to silence an alarm, as a hobby that was suitable for anybody from 5 to 80, male, female, brother, sister, mother, grandfather, because usually the physical requirements of it aren't that much. And you can kind of gauge how much you want to put into it. If you want to go out and climb an old mountain, you could do that. Okay. If you want to paddle 3 hours into a swamp and hunt an island, you could do that too. But at least you know what you're getting into. But when it came to the guys talking to the girls, or the girls making a post and coming up with an idea or a question, I noticed that there was a disturbingly large number of my male members, some of whom I was very close to and had a lot of respect and admiration for, that were talking down to these girls like they were fifth graders. And I never could figure out why, because there's no reason in the world that a female metal detectorist can't be just as good. I would even dare say better than their male counterpart. Women are typically better at things that involve focus and concentration. They're better at things that anything that gets done under stress. As a police officer, I would usually choose a female partner over a male partner, because you guys can drive better, you can shoot straighter, you can do everything under stress better than a male can. The only drawback to having a female partner as a police officer is I got into a lot more fights. And again, that came from that Neanderthal mentality. Oh, this little girl ain't gonna take me to jail. And I would see that carried over into the metal detecting hobby as well. So, it wasn't, I guess it was just maybe hurt feelings in the beginning, but then I would see posts that were sexual in nature, probably not, straightforward and right out there. They'd make comments about like, gee, you got some cute pinpointers, and worse. Okay. That just didn't work with me. I've got one daughter whom I love very much. I've got three granddaughters, and the thought of them being subjected to that type of treatment, it ticked me off. So at that point, I did a zero tolerance policy on anything that was sexual in nature, whether it was a comment, a joke, a cartoon, a photograph. Excuse me. The popular thing is to show a picture of a girl in a bikini holding a metal detector, and say, "Hey, look at the coil on this thing." Of course, everybody knows you're not drawing attention to the metal detector. You're trying to say, "Hey, look, I got a picture of a pretty lady." So those are out too. Jokes, cartoons, pictures, innuendos. If it is put on my groups, I dump them from that group, and automatically they get dumped from every one of my groups that they are currently a member of, and they're blocked from joining any of my groups, because quite frankly, dude, I don't want that kind of person in there.
Right.
You don't ever know what their what they're really thinking or what they're really capable of. And that
Mhm.
bothers me, because I used to put on a lot of group hunts, and there'd be 20, 50 of us go out in the woods together and throw our tents, and we would have a good time. And if you had somebody like that in there,
Mm.
it made me a lot uneasy.
Right. Right. So what are the rules of your groups?
Well, I used to say that I only had five. The first one being be an adult. Okay.
Mhm.
Um, Everybody that's on Facebook is basically an adult. I think the low end is 13 years of age is all you
Mhm.
have to be.
Right.
But most of the people that join these groups are adults. I'm
Mhm.
67. I'm an adult, even though I have yet to grow up, but I'm still an adult. But the that was what I started out with, was just be an adult. Don't argue with anybody. Don't call people's names. Don't
Mhm.
call people out.
Mhm.
Don't you know embarrass people.
Mhm.
Don't argue with the moderators or the admins.
Right.
And I thought that would hold it for a while. And
Mhm.
then shortly after I started all my groups for the U.S., the state of Rhode Island sent me a tax bill for $200 or $300 in taxes that they claimed that I owed them because I had precipitated sales of metal detectors in their state. And it cost me more in legal fees to my attorneys to let them handle it than it did anything else. But from that point, all sales from commercial sources, things that are normally taxed, like if you go to a
Mhm.
store,
Right.
whether it's a metal detecting store or whatever, if it was normally taxed, they were prohibited in my group. So no
Right.
commercial posts. Okay.
No commercial posts.
And then that ticked a lot of people off, and
Mhm.
they wanted to know, you know, why you've got all these members. Why can't we advertise, our specials to them? And then one of them made the mistake of saying to me that they enjoyed when they could post onto my group because it was like shooting fish in a barrel. Here they had a captive audience of metal, metal detectorists, people that wanted those types of products,
Mhm.
and they had them all together in one group, and they could just, you know,
Right.
use a shotgun approach and hit two or three
Yep.
of them. And that kind of bothered me, just kind of rubbed me wrong. And I was like, no, my members are not fish in a barrel.
Mhm.
Um, so I did a little research, and I picked a guy down in southern Mississippi to be my group dealer. And that lasted about a month before I started getting complaints from several people that he had taken their money and had not delivered the metal detector that they had purchased.
Mhm.
So he's out. Um,
Yep.
I started looking around, and I found Russ Balbarona, who was a metal detecting dealer in Henderson, uh, Nevada. And Russ and I got to be good friends, and we chit chatted and whatnot. And every time he had a sale going on, or an item that was coming up on closeout or discontinued, he would throw it to me and say,
Mhm.
"Hey, do you think your members would would like to see this?" And I said, "Yeah, yeah." So, and I told him, I said, "Look, all you got to do if you want to post something like this is just let me know beforehand."
Mhm.
And he did. but he was the only dealer that I had had contact with up to that point that was following the rules as I wanted them followed.
Mhm.
So, Russ was just, a godsend to me. And
Right.
then I guess maybe I bragged about Russ too much to the right people. And it didn't take long before First Texas snapped him up and made him their technical director.
Yeah.
I was very happy for him and very proud of him.
Yeah.
But that meant I lost my dealer. And I started looking elsewhere. And I came across Heath Jones. Heath and I have been digging partners for over 15 years.
Mm-hmm.
Heath is a former Alabama law enforcement officer. I know people that he worked with. He knows people that I worked with. We know where each other come from.
Right.
And I would trust my money. I would trust my wife. I would trust my daughter. I would trust my granddaughters with Heath all day long.
Mm-hmm.
There's just absolutely nothing that I have ever heard him say that wasn't 100% spot on accurate as far
Mm-hmm. Right.
where it may be.
So how did
Talk
so
to
you got
somebody
into
about metal detectors. He doesn't
mm-hmm.
try to upsell you. Okay.
Right.
He's got an approach of you tell me what your target is, what your
Mm-hmm.
intended target is, and then you tell me what
Mm-hmm.
type of soil you have and whether or not you're going to be playing in the water or not. And
Right.
then you tell me what your budget is.
Right.
And I can find you the best metal detector for your
For your
money
budget.
within all of those parameters. And I've seen him
Right.
do it for hundreds upon hundreds and hundreds of my members.
Right.
Deej, I have never had as much as a single person contact me and say, yeah, he didn't
Right. Yep.
he
That's
didn't put
how
all the cookies in the box, or
that's how
he said
one
it
of
was
my
going to be
sponsors
green
is
and
too.
it was red. I've never had anybody say anything negative to me about Heath Jones.
So how
So
did the women's
he
group
is
evolve?
my group dealer for everybody. All right, so that covers the no commercial sales.
Okay.
Again, going back to the no sexual connotations, no vulgar language, on and on and on. And that pretty well covers it. I think I've had to add a few here and there to
Mm-hmm.
cover specific situations as they came up.
Mm-hmm.
But for the most part, there's just 4 or 5, to start with, and they're all common sense. It's not
Mm-hmm.
rocket science.
Right.
If you wouldn't act this way in front of your mother,
Don't act like
that's the
that
kind
in
of
my
behavior I want. Okay.
right.
If you can't figure that out, then I probably don't want you as a member.
Right. So how did
Hang on.
what
I've
made
lost
you
my
decide to
audio.
start a woman's group?
Oh goodness, Deej. How have I lost my audio?
Oh no.
I
Uh-oh.
just barely can't hear you.
Turn your volume up, I guess.
I don't have that many buttons that I can choose from. That's not it. Let me turn my mic off for a minute and turn it back on.
Okay. Can you hear me now?
My mic is on.
Can you hear me now? Huh.
I've got nothing showing as,
Oop. Hold on
out
a
of the
minute. Let me
way.
check. No, I don't have you muted. I just checked. We can hear you. We can hear you, we can hear you.
I can't hear you, Deej. I see your mouth moving.
Oh no, oh no.
That didn't do anything for me either.
Private chat.
I got a phone call that came in, and I went to
that's what did it.
get it out of the way, and somehow or another I've lost my my speaker.
Oops. Yep. Well, hang in there. He'll be back. He's going out and coming back in again. Yeah, it took us. Yeah, it's because the phone call came in. Yeah, he left. I'm just waiting for him to come back. Let me message him. There he is. Can you hear me now?
I don't know what that was. Yeah, I don't know what that was.
Can you hear me now?
Yep.
Okay. When you get an incoming phone call, it will do that. So the
Yeah.
only way to solve it
Well,
is to
you
go
know,
out and come back in again. Okay, so
computers make very fast, accurate mistakes.
what was happening that made you decide to research a woman's only metal detecting group?
Well, through one of my groups, I think it was my whites group, I met a lady named Donna Keenan, and she lived up in the Pacific Northwest, almost to the Canada border.
Mm-hmm.
And she had a page. Now, a lot of people don't understand that there's a world of difference between a page, a Facebook page, and a Facebook group. They're totally run two separate ways.
Mm-hmm.
Excuse me. And she had a Facebook page that was dedicated to women only metal detecting. And I think she had 200 or 300 members. And she had some problems with her phone line. I think it was actually a satellite connection. She had some trouble that came up, and kind of like what you had last night with that storm.
Yeah. Yeah.
And she knew that I was in
Trustworthy.
favor of women
Mm-hmm.
being in the hobby, and that I was supportive, and I didn't put up with any crap.
Right.
So she knew I was a good guy, okay?
Mm-hmm.
And she sent me a message and said, "Hey, look, I'm having some technical issues here. Would you possibly be interested in being my emergency stand-in admin to keep the place running if something knocks me offline?" I said, "Sure, be glad to." And she had 2 or 3 little minor issues over the next year or so. And at one point, they had a big snowstorm up there, and it buried her house under about 4 feet of snow, including her satellite dish. And she couldn't, it was damaged, and she couldn't get it to work. And I actually ran the page for her for several months. Well, her husband is a Vietnam veteran. I'm a veteran too.
Thank you for your service.
And thank you. He is one of the Vietnam vets that were sprayed with Agent Orange, and it has left him with some very challenging health aspects. And she created another page for Vietnam veterans and with Agent Orange connection, and that thing just exploded. She was spending all day letting people in, monitoring what was being said. You know, you give somebody an open mic that's mad and hurt, and you can imagine the colorful language that she had to
deal with,
take care of.
Right.
Yeah, it was a full-time job for her. So she sent me a message and said, "Hey, I hate to do this to you, but I've decided to shut my women's only metal detecting page down. It was fun, but this thing with the Agent Orange and the vets has just exploded, and I can't handle it." And I told her, "Okay, well, thanks for letting me help out." And it shut down and went the way of the dinosaur. Well, I don't remember how long it was, but I had an incident that happened in one of my groups, and it brought back the memory of her women only metal detecting page. And I thought, you know what? There is a need for this. I see it every day. I see it every day in so many of my groups. And like I said, the people that were doing this, Deej, they weren't slime ball plumbers or people with a low mentality. These were people that I knew. They were personal friends, and I respected and admired them as a man, as another human being, very much. So when I saw several of them go along with ha ha ha, I was like, oh no, I got to put an end to this. And my way to do that was to ban them all. And that's the way I take care of it. If somebody does post something like that, they get kicked out of the group and they're banned. And then they get kicked out of all of my groups and they're banned from ever joining any of my groups again. And that takes care of the problem for me. Now, that just means that they go on to somebody else's group, okay? And they, how they act there, I've got no control over. But and I think that's one of the reasons that a lot of people come to my groups is they don't have to listen to that crap. Because any man that has got a decent sense of fair play about him, we know it's all lies. We know it's wrong, and they don't want to be in a group like that. So I think a lot of people came to my group because they were in other people's groups before. But I don't. When you start a group on Facebook or a page, one of the first things that everybody does, Deej, is you try to get my history seeker decal up there where it can be seen.
I'm gonna have to send you a Digging with Deej shirt, dude.
Oh yeah, in pink.
No, I don't have pink shirts.
Well, I would wear it because I've worn a pink Technetics shirt.
I have lavender shirts that I want. I don't have them yet, but I want to get them in a store that my grandson's building for me.
Put me down for one.
Okay.
Now my age is showing because I lost my train of thought.
So you decided to start the women's only metal detecting group, and you asked the previous woman.
Oh, I remember. When you start, when anybody starts a new group or a page, the first thing they do to advertise it is they go on they join other groups or pages and post links about theirs on there.
Right.
Well, I didn't do it that way. Okay. Mine has been done word of mouth from one female metal detectorist to another, or it's only been advertised within my groups.
Right.
But I never went to anybody else's group and advertised the women's only or any of the other of my groups.
Right.
They've all been handled word of mouth. So and I have watched some of them explode. Yep. I've watched some of them explode. I've watched some of them painfully add one member a week, just over time.
Right.
And, but I'm proud of every member that I've got because I've gotten them the right way. I haven't gone and stolen somebody else's membership list and sent them all emails and everything.
Yeah.
So that kind of stuff happens too. But either way, like I said, I I saw that there was definitely a need for a woman's only, and the things that the women in my women's only group do for one another. I've actually sat at my computer and cried. The level of support and understanding that they give one another in various situations.
Right.
It's very humbling, and never seen that happen between two guys.
Right.
So, you've been a member in my women's only group for a couple of years now, haven't you?
I can't
Has
remember.
it been that long?
Between 1 and 2 years, I think. 1 and 2 years.
Okay. Well, you know the certain types of folks I'm talking about that'll bring a tear to your eye.
Oh yeah, I'm sure.
I have yet to see anybody. Huh?
I said, yeah, I know about those posts that you ban off your groups. I saw a few of those when I dug my Morgan Silver Dollar. That's where 2 of the posts that I had in my intro were from. When I dug the Morgan Silver.
I got you. Well, I've never seen anybody in my women's only group be condescending or talk down to another member there.
Right.
And it's a wonderful experience. I spend more time in my women's only group than I do in any of my other groups. And it's just because it is such an uplifting experience to be there and to witness all of this. You know, it really makes you motivated to get up and ignore the pain and strap on the old digging belt and start swinging again.
Right. And drama free.
Yeah. And that's hard to find in any group, but my women's only group is definitely drama free.
Right.
We touch upon the subject of personal safety quite a bit. Now, the state where I live, Alabama, is an open carry state.
So
that means I can slap. Oh, good. That means I can slap anything on my hip. I don't have to have a license. I do.
You just have to be 18 years old in Michigan to have an open carry.
Yeah, I've got a concealed carry weapon permit for a pistol, but I don't have to have one.
Right.
As long as I am mentally acute, I don't have to have anything. I can just put a holster on and walk in Walmart. Say, hey, how y'all are?
Right.
But it's a nice feeling for me because I come from a very extensive gun background as military, as police officer, as a professional licensed medical executive bodyguard. I started my own business on that one when I got out of the Air Force. Yeah, a gun has been at my side one way or another ever since I was about 12 years old.
Right.
So I'm very comfortable with guns.
Right.
But the topic of how many of you women carry a gun when you go out into the field for metal detecting, that comes up quite a bit. And my women's only group is an international group. We've got members from I think 18 countries in that group.
Right.
And running groups like these, the first thing you learn is everything is not the same for everybody as it is for you in your own backyard. Okay. And Australia, bless their heart, they have villainized the gun and it's outlawed. I don't even know if their police carry guns.
But that's not the only
pretty
way
much
you can protect yourself. You know, that's just one way.
Right. It's pretty much been villainized to the point that even the villains won't carry one. But guess what? The crime hasn't gone down. The villains are now carrying big long butcher knives and machetes, and they're using bricks.
Yeah.
Imagine that. Murdered by getting hit in the head with a brick. So
Right.
I'll stick with my guns. But anytime the subject of personal protection and firearms comes up as a question, it usually will hit 100 replies within the first hour. That's how hot the topic can be.
Yes, yeah.
But if handguns are allowed where you live,
right,
I strongly urge each and every one of you to take an NRA approved handgun safety course, learn how to shoot a gun, and then go buy you one and keep it with you at all times. Things happen so fast that if you're not already prepared for it, you're going to become a victim instead of the person that walks away.
Right.
And
I used to own guns, and then they were stolen, and I never replaced them. So I carry defense spray now.
Oh yeah,
which won't kill somebody or an animal. It won't kill a human or an animal, but it'll give you a chance to get away.
Oh yeah. Well, I don't have any problem with pepper spray or tear gas because, good Lord, I know I've been exposed to it a number of times. In the military, we had to get certified once a year. As cops, we had to get certified on it once a year, and the way they certified you is they put 20 of you in a rented storage shed. One of those little portable storage sheds. They would get one. The base disaster preparedness people would rent one, and they'd put 20 of us in it, and only the instructor was wearing the gas mask, and he'd say, "Well, we're fixing to expose y'all to what you carry," and he would pop the pin on a tear gas canister, and we had to stand in there and sing the Star Spangled Banner.
Oh, Jesus.
You couldn't leave until you sang the whole song. I've never seen anybody that could sing the whole song.
Yeah.
You just have to find the hole and run and try to get out of the stuff. And then it takes hours for it to go away. So if you're going to carry tear gas, I would suggest the type that has a dye marker in it, so that once you've sprayed somebody in the face, or even if you miss their eyes, you just hit their shirt or their hat, it's going to leave an orange streak or a neon green streak that the police can identify them by.
Right. So one of the things
go ahead.
that often gets brought, that I try to bring up, I have a lot of people ask me why I don't use headphones. I don't use headphones because I got a bad scare from some strange guy coming up behind me in a park, and I didn't hear him come up. So I always tell anybody that absolutely insists on wearing headphones if they're detecting, to put one of the earphones up above your ear on one side and have it down on the other, so that you can hear people coming up behind you.
Here again, common sense comes into play.
Out of this guy, he was just wanting to know what I was doing, and he went to tap me on the shoulder as I was over pinpointing a target in a hole, and I think I jumped 3 feet in the air and just about knocked him down, and said, "What the heck?" You don't come up behind somebody like that.
I've done the same thing. I've done the same thing.
What is
wearing headphones comes down common sense. Okay,
right. It does.
How many people have you seen driving their car wearing headphones? That's scary.
What?
Wearing headphones while they're driving their cars.
Oh, I've never seen anybody do that.
Oh, down here in Dixie they do. Um, they'll either have their earbuds in or they're wearing the full size headphones over them.
Wow.
And again, it comes down to common sense.
Right.
If you're wearing headphones or earbuds, you won't be able to hear a horn. You won't be able to hear a person yell at you.
Yeah.
You won't be able to hear police or fire or ambulance sirens.
Exactly.
And there's a good chance that you're going to learn a very expensive lesson. It is illegal in the state of Alabama to do so,
Right.
but I see no enforcement of it whatsoever.
Right.
But
we're talking
headphones,
we're talking metal detecting now.
headphones to me are kind of a necessary evil. I'm about 80% deaf
Mhm.
due to my line of work over the years,
Mhm.
various explosions, way
Yeah.
too many gunshots and flashbangs. My hearing was toast after I left the military.
Mhm.
I had a little bit of a hearing loss when I went in, and when I came out, I had a big hearing loss.
Right.
So I kind of need to wear headphones, but I
Mhm.
do the same thing that you do. I'll pull
Pull
it either ahead or behind so
Mhm.
that I can hear something in my good ear, which is
Right.
usually my right, but now it's my
Yeah, see,
left for
mine
some
is my
reason.
right ear. I have hearing loss in my left ear. And there.
Well,
Another thing that I do when I go out detecting is I go onto Google Maps, I pin the location I'm going to be at, and I send it to my boyfriend. I send it to both of my sons. So somebody knows where I'm at and they know what time I plan on being home. And they know that
right.
if I'm going to be late, I will call them and let them know. So someone always knows where you're at. Okay. The other thing I
Something
do,
that I do. Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
the other thing I do is I carry defense spray. I had a close call as a young mother, and luckily my husband carried. I had a raccoon come out of a dead hollow tree after me, and it was foaming at the mouth. It was a rabid raccoon. And I never
Right,
saw
right.
one move so fast in my life. And he shot it. It was only 20 feet away from me when he got it. Thank
Oh
God.
boy.
Great. Yeah. So, and I do a lot of exploring out in the middle of nowhere, not necessarily detecting, but exploring and
Right.
that. So I always have this on my wrist. And it's really simple to use. You just turn the spigot to where it'll press down
And go.
and hold it out in front of
Right.
you. Don't blow into the wind, and that's all there is to it. So,
Yep.
and I think I got
Well,
two of
you
them
know,
for $10.
bad thing. Oh wow.
Pardon me?
Bad things come. Bad things come with 2 legs and 4 legs.
Yes, true.
So it's not just the bad guys we need to think about.
Right.
I was sitting on my back porch after you and I talked yesterday,
Mhm.
and I watched a pack of 14 dogs come down the alley,
Oh my,
and
that's
they
dangerous.
were. I wouldn't call them wild dogs. Several of them
Right.
still had collars on, but
Mhm.
they had already assumed that pack mentality. Now my yard's fenced. Of course, if they're determined enough, they'll either climb it or jump it.
Right.
But it just made me think back to all the times that my children, my grandchildren, that I would let them out into the yard and let them sit out there in their sandbox while I did whatever I had to do. And when a dog is a member of a pack, they resort to that pack hunting that they're so well known for.
Yeah.
And you take a small child that gets scared by a dog, the first thing he's going to do is run. If it
Right. And
runs,
that's the
it's
worst
going to
thing
be
you can
chased.
do is run. Worst thing you can do is run. Now, occasionally I'll see a coyote, and they're as shocked to see you as you are to them.
Oh yeah.
And the only ones I think you really have to worry about are the sick ones. But you make enough
Well,
noise,
yeah.
if you make enough noise, they're going to take off. So, but
Any wild animal that comes up to you voluntarily, you
mhm,
should consider it sick and
right,
get away from it.
get away from it. Yep. So then, what's your advice to someone who may be in a group that is not founded by you? That what should they do when they get a comment on social media? What would you report it to the administrator or what?
Yeah, on Facebook, you've got two ways you can quote report something. You could report it to Facebook, okay?
Mm-hmm.
And most of the time, the comments that I have seen within my groups were not open enough that you could report it to Facebook.
Mm-hmm.
But on every post in the top right hand corner, not
Mhm.
replies, but the original post,
Mm-hmm.
top right hand corner, there are either three dots or three little lines. It depends on whether you're on mobile, whether you're on iPhone or Android, or whether you're on your laptop or desktop.
Right.
It may have a totally different appearance, but usually in the right hand corner, top right hand corner, there's some way that you can click on it and it brings a pull down menu. And report to admin is one of those.
Right.
And you don't even have to justify it. If you click on report to admin, it paints a big yellow stripe across the top of the group that the admins can see, and they'll
Mhm.
know that they got a problem.
Right.
Now, if you're in a group and somebody says something to you that's offensive or intimidating to you because you're a woman and you
Mhm.
report it and you don't see any action in a day or two, I'd probably leave that group.
Yeah, I would too.
Because it's clear that either they don't get it, they don't
Mhm.
see it, or they agree with it and condone it.
Yeah. Right.
So
Exactly.
if it happened to me, I
Mhm.
wouldn't want to be in that group anymore.
No, I've quit groups because of that. I've
You was
even
talking about
I've
your
even
raccoon experience.
yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Now, have you ever had a time where you were scared by something when you were metal detecting?
That's what I was fixing to tell you about.
Okay.
I have your story about the raccoon.
Mhm.
I have scared up my share of critters as well, but I am an urban jungle hunter. I'm going to say that 98% of the time that I'm metal detecting, it's within the city limits of Birmingham.
Mhm.
Birmingham is also known in some circles as the murder capital of the South. Birmingham is made up of 18 municipalities that go all the way around the city of Birmingham. They all touch our city limits. And out of all of those, one of them is Bessemer. Bessemer is on the FBI's most dangerous place to live as the number 3 most likely place to die in the United States.
Oh
So
my God.
I'm not joking when I say this is a rough little town. When I metal detect, I
Mhm.
openly carry either my 45 or my 9mm. It's either on my detecting belt or it's on my detecting vest. I've got one of the Minelab Pro 45 harness systems, and I've got a holster sewn to it, and it just goes right there in the chest pocket. And I was at a site that was a 1920s apartment building that had been completely demoed, but the rear of the building didn't have any access other than by foot. and there was a bamboo thicket back there that was so thick you couldn't see through it. It was so thick and so large that it was just an impenetrable object.
Mm-hmm.
And I had been swinging and had been getting a little closer, and I got down to probably within about 10 feet of it. Now I try to be aware. I don't know if you've noticed me looking around while I'm sitting
Yeah.
here, but
Yeah.
I try to be aware all the time. And I had looked up at it several times when I was swinging and getting closer and closer, and I had not seen anything. And I got a good signal. It was a nickel signal, and I got down on one knee, and just as soon as my right knee hit the ground, I hear this banshee yell, and I look up, and there's this guy parting the bamboo coming through it, coming right at me, and in one hand he has a pitchfork, Deej,
Oh my God.
like what you would actually use to pitch hay with. And the handle was halfway broken off, so he had a sawed-off pitchfork. But he was coming right at me, screaming, and had it up and ready to go. And I drew my weapon, and I even went so far as to took my safety off, and I was about a heartbeat away from giving him some souvenirs that he probably didn't want to take with him.
Right.
But he saw me with my gun pointed at him, and he let out another little scream, dropped the pitchfork. I think it hit him in the head, and he turned around and took off running down the block, screaming at the top of his lungs.
Right.
But what would the ending to that story have been if I had not been armed?
Right. Yeah. Who knows? And I don't want to find out. Scary stuff.
I can say that I have. That was the only time that I have drawn my weapon while I have been metal detecting, and it was also the closest I think I have ever come to shooting someone that I didn't actually have to go through and complete the action to.
Right.
It's not a fun experience by any means.
It's not. Now, let's go from here to the topic of stalking. Okay. So,
all right.
I had a situation about 3 years ago. I do not post anything on social media about where I work or anything like that. I had no idea how this person figured out where I worked. You guys all know I go by my nickname, and I've done that ever since this happened, maybe even before it happened, because I had a couple of scares. I had a young man, younger than my youngest son, who's 40, show up at my work asking for Deej. My boss knows that only my family and my followers on YouTube call me Deej. So he had me go into his office because he had two-way glass. And he goes, do you know this guy? And I went, I have no clue who that is. Well, do you want to talk to him? I said, not unless you guys are standing next to him. And I mean, they were brothers that owned the business that I worked for. And they were both like 6'4", big guys. So I went up front in the lobby, but I was behind the front counter with both of them on side of me. And I said, can I help you? I said, I don't know you. Oh, no, I watch you on YouTube, blah, 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 blah. I brought us a lunch and, and I'm saying, I'm sorry, I'm at work. Well, I'll wait till you get on your lunch hour. I've already had my lunch. Well, I drove 4 hours to meet you. And I went, you never sent me an email asking me first? Nothing. I said, I'm sorry, and the guy got upset. He says, well, I'll just wait for you out in the parking lot. And he sat out there and waited. So my boss called the police. They came in and they said, well, there's a name for this, Deej. It's stalking. I said, I don't think he realized what he was doing. because they said, "Do you want us to arrest him?" And I said, "Can you just scare him and let him know that what he did was illegal?"
This is
And
not cool.
I said not to arrest him, just explain to him what he's doing is illegal. So they did that, and they escorted him to the county line and told him, "We don't ever want to see your face here again." But
Good boys in blue.
not that I don't appreciate my followers and viewers, but you got to understand, when you go to an event and you get to meet these people that you've been watching, don't just go up and hug them. I mean, I've even had another YouTuber that I went up and hugged, and I could tell that I scared her because she didn't know me except for on YouTube.
Right.
Even though I've been a constant follower, I think I scared Tracy's Treasures. I really do. And that, but I love watching her at Dead Horse Bay. So don't assume, don't confuse supporting and following a YouTube or a Facebook person. Don't confuse that with being best buddies, best friends, know each other very well. Because
absolutely,
I have a lot of people ask me if they can go detecting with me, and I don't know them. And I don't mean to be rude, but I don't go detecting with anybody I don't know or isn't a friend of somebody I know, that sort of thing. So,
well, you just said the answer. They may know you, but you don't know them.
Hi, Heavy Metal. And so I'm not the only one. Women are not the only ones to get stalked. I know men and women who have been stalked by men and women. I know personalities in our, in treasure hunting who have stayed with a fellow treasure hunter and been filmed without their knowledge, or they stayed with the fellow treasure hunter and their family, and when they went to go to bed, they realized that there was a hidden camera in the room, and there's
a little blinking red light somewhere.
Yep, packed up their stuff and left.
Yeah.
So, and you yourself can attest that men can be stalked too. You want to tell us about that?
Absolutely. I do a lot of check-ins. I usually do a Facebook live cast once a week. I try to. I haven't been too good at it here lately. I had a stroke in September, and since I had my stroke in September, I've kind of slacked off a little bit just because I didn't always know what it was going to sound like as I was talking. So I haven't done any I did one last week, but it'd been almost a month before that. But I do Facebook live casts. I do 50 posts a day on my own page. Mm-hmm. Not to mention the hundreds of posts or replies that I do in all my groups.
Right.
So it's not uncommon for people to blow their horn at me, as we're sitting in a parking lot or riding down the road. Somebody will pull up beside, they'll honk their horn and start waving. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, my wife will go, who is that? I go, I don't have a clue. Just smile and wave.
Yeah.
So I do a lot of check-ins. I do food reviews, or actually it's more restaurant reviews. My daughter was in the restaurant business for 20 years, it seems. Mm-hmm. And I know the way a good restaurant should be ran. Okay. Mm-hmm. And there aren't but maybe 5 in this city that meet my standards for that. Mm-hmm. So, and I don't sugarcoat it. If your bathroom looks like you catch some kind of STD in it, I'm going to tell my friends, my viewers,
right.
That's what it looks like. All right.
Yep.
But So I do a lot of check-ins. I stop at this Starbucks. I go to that Crate and Barrel. I go here, I go there, and I do a check-in. But it didn't take me too long before I realized if I do the check-in while I'm sitting in the parking lot before I go in, I'm going to have people sitting at my table with me. That
Yeah.
has happened. So I now do my check-ins as I'm in the car fixing to leave that place.
Right.
So
Yep.
if I do a check-in, it says that I'm at Joe's Crab House
Yeah.
and looking forward to a great dinner. I've already eaten my dinner and I'm
Yeah.
fixing to look forward to kicking my feet up in my recliner.
Yep.
But if you're gonna hunt me down that way, I'm already gone.
Yep.
You know.
So
I
have made the same mistake, and luckily they were very nice people. But after that happened, I thought, nope, never again. From now on, I'm not
no more.
until I've left. So
yeah, I ride motorcycles. My big bad blue Triumph America sitting right here next to me under its cover home. But the weather's changing here in Dixie. We were we're at 70 degrees right now. I think I saw a high of 74 as I was going to pick up my wife. So yeah, I'm going to let the pollen season kind of go by, and then I'm going to get on the motorcycle. And that brings me exposure to 1,000 different people other than, what I normally deal with on Facebook.
Right.
But again, you don't know who is going to stalk you, when they're going to stalk you, or
Right.
why.
Or
So
why?
why give them a key to your house? And I mean your digital house. If you
Right.
tell them that if you do a review of the ABC apartments and you tell everybody that you're living there as you're doing this review, I've been living here for 3 months and love it. The pool's always nice and clean, blah blah blah.
All they
But
got
you
to
just
do
told
is
everybody
walk
where
around
you live.
for the mailboxes, try to figure out what building you're in.
Yep.
And
Yep,
then
absolutely.
sit there and wait for you to come out.
Yep.
So,
And so don't give people a key to your digital house.
right.
I see it all the time when we were getting close to 150 new member requests to my women's only detecting group every day. Sometimes it would hit 250. And
how many of those are not really women?
well, you won't know unless you looked. And that's the point that I'm trying to make is that I looked. Okay. I look at each one of them, and the male female is pretty easy to decide. The other options, I'm not even going to go there because it doesn't have any bearing on me or whether they like metal detecting. But yeah, I look. Every new member that I approve, I actually go to their homepage and I click on the read more information, and I read everything in there. Now, the majority of people don't have anything in there.
Right.
But then you run across these people that tell you what church they go to, what their high school reunion's going to be, and they like this store and that store and this store, and they always go out to this park every morning at 10 to jog with their best friend from high school. And I'm just sitting here like,
you're giving somebody a roadmap.
Why are you telling people this stuff?
Yeah,
exactly. And it just appalls me at the people that put this information out there and don't think twice about it. If they have never had a problem with somebody like that, I'm happy for them. But they need to stop it before they meet a stalker.
That does happen. Exactly.
Absolutely.
So what I want to tell you, I know it can be upsetting when you get the negative comments like what you saw in my custom intro. Got to get a thick skin, guys and gals. Got to get a thick skin. Or you'll get the dingbats, for instance, on Facebook. You'll show your find, and then they pop in trying to show something better than your find.
Yeah.
Kill them with kindness. Just say congratulations and move on. History
That's
features
nice.
in my house. Yeah. Hey,
Yeah.
gang.
Well, you know,
History features is in the chat.
I have received more than just negative comments. I stopped posting my finds years ago, and it was due to the possibility of someone wanting my finds. I used to hurricane hunt up and down the eastern seacoast, and anytime a hurricane would come ashore, I'd be there the next day.
Right.
And I mean, if it was open, I wouldn't go in if it wasn't. But if it was open, I'd be on the beach the next day. And I have found all kinds of interesting, wonderful historical items. The things that I felt needed to go in a museum, I gave them to a museum. If they needed to be donated to a local historical society, I would do that. Matter of fact, my display of the 1905 trolley that ran through the city of Birmingham, I've got the trolley tokens. I've got an 18-inch piece of the trolley railroad rail, and I've got 10 of the little bitty trolley rail spikes that went with that. I built it as a display and used a picture of the downtown Birmingham with the overhead wires for the trolley and a trolley going by. I used that as the background. I put it in a lucite cover on a piece of maple, and I have donated it to the Birmingham Board of Education, and they send it around to the different schools, and the kids could actually take the lid off, and they could hold the spike, they could touch the rail, they could hold those tokens in their hand. So I try to do what's right, okay?
Right, yep.
You know, if I kept that in my house, maybe one person a year would see it and benefit from it. But donating it to a historical society or a school.
That's why I donate a lot of what I find.
Yeah. So. But I still get more than negative comments. Do what?
That's called leaving your legacy.
Yeah.
And I really
I still get people. Absolutely. I still get more than negative comments. I get threats. As you can imagine, running this many groups for that many years, like I said, I'm on my 15th year. I've kicked a bunch of people out of my groups. Some of them see the error of their ways. I'll get a letter of apology every now and then, but most of the time it's a threatening letter, and therefore I don't go to the big national hunts anymore. The last one I went to was a Garrett Memorial Hunt several years ago, and I actually had two bodyguards, two friends of mine that used to work for me, go with me. And I had reported the guy and the problem to Facebook and was quite disappointed in Facebook's non-interest in the fact that this guy was making threats towards me and my family.
Wow.
So, you know, Facebook for what it is, it's great, but it's not perfect. Far from perfect.
Right. And the same thing with YouTube, folks. So try not to take offense to the nasty comments. Just let it roll off your back. They're just words, folks. Just let it roll off your back. Report them, block them if it's serious enough. There's nothing wrong with doing that. Report it to the administrator of that Facebook group, or report it to YouTube, or report it to Facebook, or any Instagram, any of them.
Yeah.
In there.
Are you on Instagram, Deej?
Yes, I am. Yep, I'm on
I am
Instagram.
too. Metal Detecting Tim is my Instagram. I was on Tumblr. I was on Snapchat, and they just got out of hand. Started getting a lot of real racy adult type things in my feed, and I would remove them, and a week later they were right back. So
Yeah.
I canceled those accounts and waved bye-bye.
Yep. So, but anyhow, that is just some of the ways that you can help protect yourself. Just use common sense. You can't assume. There are bad actors everywhere in this world.
Absolutely.
Whether it be the treasure hunting community or just life in general. And bad things happen to good people, folks.
Every day.
Every day. So when you go out detecting, have a plan. If you don't have a pistol you can carry one of these. Okay? It's
I got a comment.
Only for use if you feel your life is in danger. Okay?
Oh yeah.
So
you had said
prospecting, welcome. What were you saying?
You had said that you always let somebody know where you're going.
I always let somebody know where I'm going to be and how long I'm going to be there and when I'm coming home. And I send them in from Google Maps.
Our phones, if you've ever used Google Maps, Google Maps tracks your every move from then on. Okay.
Yep.
Now you could either ignore it and just think otherwise, but Google Maps tracks every foot that you travel.
Right.
Now, I get a weekly map of all the places I've gone in that week. Okay. And sometimes if I have stopped somewhere, but I didn't actually stop at the place, like I might be in the parking lot behind the place, and there might be 5 other businesses, I'll get a notification from Google Maps wanting me to verify, did I stop here and where did I stop?
Right.
And there's a feature on Google Maps where you can allow someone of your choosing to either track you one time, like for the duration of this trip, or you can turn it on permanently. Now with me, I have it turned on permanently for my wife. All she's got to do is click on the link, and it shows her right where my phone is. Okay, anytime.
Right.
If she calls and says, "Hey, are you close?" And I'm still sitting in the driveway, and I go, "Yes, baby. Traffic's busy, but I'll get there as fast as I can." All she's got to do is click that link, and she'll see the car still sitting in the driveway. So I can't lie to my wife. I can't lie to my wife anymore about that.
Right.
But I share. I've got permanent links shared with her, with my oldest grandson, with my 3 children. So all of my kids can see where I am, and my wife and my oldest grandson.
Right.
Also, my motorcycle is a 2005 Triumph America that I'm the second owner. The previous owner didn't have an enclosed place to put it and didn't always keep a cover on it. And the speedometer, beautiful speedometer, a lot of chrome, pretty white face. Yeah, it's rusted solid on the inside. So the speedometer does not work. So I use my phone. I use an app on my phone as my speedometer. Well, through your phone, and you can do this for metal detecting too. You can set, depending on the phone. I've got a Samsung Galaxy S22 Ultra. I can set a sensor, if you will, so that if my phone detects that I have fallen or had an impact or a tumble or anything like that, it will attempt to talk to me.
Right.
If I don't respond by pushing a button, it will then send out a pre-typed text message to people of my choice. And again, it's my wife, my oldest grandson, and my 3 kids. So if I'm involved in an accident, or if I just run off the road on my motorcycle and go cutting out through the woods and I'm knocked unconscious, my wife will know within about a minute. And that technology is amazing.
Yeah.
It's real easy to set up. You may have to look hard for it.
These are free things.
Absolutely. Doesn't cost you a penny.
Yep.
Doesn't cost you a penny.
Yep. So
have we hit all the questions you had?
Have you ever been stalked? Or do you know? Have you?
Yes, I have.
Do you know any men that have ever been stalked?
Well, I know of a couple of men that have. Yes. And if you think that stalking is just something that happens to women, that's not true. I myself have been stalked several times by several different females. Now, nothing bad ever happened. I don't think contact was made in any but one of the 3 cases that come to my mind. But I have had people that would follow me in the car, women that would follow me in the car. And no, I don't think I'm God's gift to women. Trust me. Look at his face. No way. So it's kind of unusual when I see a woman looking at me or parking parallel to me, but 2 aisles over while I'm sitting in the car working, and they also don't get out of their car. So I notice these things. So one of them I had actually gone to high school with, and she was going in a restaurant as I was coming out, and she saw me, and she had been following me on Facebook, as a friend, but I didn't frequent her page very often. I knew who she was, but didn't really burn her image in my mind.
Right.
I didn't recognize her. She saw me coming out, and she instantly recognized my wild goat. And I pulled away before she could catch up to me. So she hopped into her car, which was almost parked right next to me. And she figured I was going to Starbucks, and she would just hit me there. And I didn't. I drove a couple more places, and I would look up in my mirror, and she would be sitting behind me going,
"Oh my,
that's a weird feeling.
Oh my,
that's a weird feeling."
Yeah.
It used to be a good feeling, but now that I've been married for 44 years, it's not a good feeling.
Not a good feeling.
And the other 2 that I remember off the top of my head, Deej, I don't know who they were. One of them was taking pictures. One of them had a camera and was taking pictures of me. So I don't know whether they think I backed into their car, whether I ran over their dog.
Wow.
No idea. But again, men get stalked too. I've been stalked by both men and women. Men usually want to fight or argue. That's
right.
That's who we are. I can do that too. You don't want to pick a fight with an old man. We cheat.
Right.
And if you lose, you just had your butt kicked by an old man. If you don't lose and you kick the old man's butt, well, you just kicked an old man's butt.
Right.
Where's the honor in that?
Yep.
So yeah, it's a two-way street when it comes to being stalked. Entire Facebook groups can be stalked.
Mhm.
Back in the beginning, I used to try to do one monthly group hunt for my Alabama group,
Mhm.
and I would move it around the state so that the people that weren't close to Birmingham had a chance to, join and have the same
Mhm.
fun.
Right.
I could get on Facebook right now, Deej, and say group hunt at Caldwell Park at 6 p.m. tonight. Well, it's 6:10 here. At 7 p.m. tonight, I guarantee you there'll be 20 people there. Okay,
Wow. Yeah.
that's how close knit this group is.
Right.
But
You
that's
learned you
only
couldn't
here in
give them a
Birmingham.
location. You learned you couldn't give them a
Well,
location.
no, I don't anymore. That's just here in Birmingham. So I would move it around the state so that
Mhm.
other people could take advantage of that camaraderie. Group
Right.
hunts are the best thing in the world.
Right.
Um, but in the beginning, I used to tell people where the group hunt was going to be
Mhm.
maybe a week in advance so that they had time to plan, 3, 4, 5 hours
Right.
and could figure out where Farmer John's cow pasture was
Right.
out in the middle of Rimlap, Alabama.
Right.
And I felt that was information that I needed to disseminate to them so that they could make a judgment as to
Mhm.
whether they wanted to drive from Mobile all the way to Anniston,
Mhm.
which is from the southern end of the state to the northern end of the
Right.
state. Well, I don't know. We'd been doing them for about a year or so, and I had secured a bunch of empty lots that had been bulldozed years ago,
Mhm.
and nobody had even lived on the land for probably 20 years. But I knew the guy that owned the property. I talked to him, and he said, "Sure, go ahead." And I told everybody where it was, and I got there at like 4:30, 5 o'clock that morning. And because when I do a group hunt, I have a porta potty, okay. I have a water jug and a table, and I have chairs. I mean, I don't have 50 chairs. I've got like 3 chairs,
Right.
and I've got a porta potty. So if you're there and you got to go, there's a place for you to go without
Right.
getting in your car and driving
Mhm.
through neighborhoods that you don't know and
Yeah.
going in a gas station that you don't know
Right.
and dropping your drawers. Okay,
Yeah.
so I try to do it the right way. Luckily, I've got low friends in high places. I've got a cousin that works for a porta potty company, so the
Mhm.
porta potties don't cost me anything, especially if I pick them up in my truck.
Mhm.
The, but I get there for a couple of hours before the hunt officially begins, and that's
Mhm.
usually at about 8. And this particular morning, I got there 4:30, 5 o'clock, and was unloading the stuff. And as soon as the sun comes up, I look around, and it looks like I'm standing in the middle of a mortar range, with these 2-foot diameter holes all over the place as far as you
Oh
can
my
see.
God.
And I slowly come to the realization that someone has been there right before us
Mhm.
and has dug all the signals they could. And oh look, and they left their trash laying all over the place. They
Oh my
didn't
God.
fill their holes, and they left the trash that they went after laid either in the hole or just kicked off to the side.
Wow.
So I mean, there was 200 holes minimum,
Oh my gosh.
and there was a few people that stuck around and stayed, to swing. And I think they might have got a few signals, but not that many. And
Somebody
the whole
ruined it.
rest of the time,
Okay.
I was picking up trash and refilling holes.
Right.
But yeah, groups can be stalked. 2 or 3 months down the road, we set a trap for this person and was able to catch them and their little clique of like 5 or 6 of their buddies that weren't members of the group, but that's what they would do. He would find out through the group where the group hunt was going to be, and knew that we had permission, and he would get there the night before, and dig everything that he could. And they were in a hurry, so they didn't bag their trash, and they didn't refill their holes. Big on to the next hole. So yeah, anybody can be stalked, male, female, even entire Facebook groups can be stalked.
Yeah.
It's something that you just have to be aware of at this time and age.
Yeah. Well, for instance, the big event, that I'm part of in Michigan, they're there 2 weeks before the event.
Right.
To safeguard the location. But it's not a natural site anymore because they do seeded hunts, but still it takes time to seed 3,000 coins, and they have
absolutely
do it, and they camp in that field to keep nighthawkers out. Hi, Joel, Drum and Detect. So yeah, you have to do that.
Well, here's what I foresee for our hobby. It used to be fairly easy to door knock, meet somebody, introduce yourself, tell them what you would like to do, why you would like to do it, and what's going to become of it. Okay. In other words, if it's something that's of historical importance, you're going to give it to the local historical society.
Right.
Or if they want it, they can have it. Right. But I got a lot of yeses that way. I have always been the type of person, Deej. I'm a salesman at heart. Okay.
Yeah, me too.
I can talk until I'm dead, and my mouth will probably keep on for about another week. And one of the reasons is I love people, and I love the subjects that I talk about, whether it's metal detecting or motorcycling. I've got a lot of knowledge. I've got a lot of experience. So I can talk shop for a long time. But I've always had this ability to become someone's instant friend. Back when I sold computers for Office Depot, people would come up to me and ask me about a printer, and I'd go, "Oh, follow me around here," and I would start talking to them about the HP 540 inkjet printer, and I would put it in demo mode, and I would show them that it couldn't be destroyed. I would raise the cover up. I had it jump so that when the cover was up, you could actually watch the ink cartridge running back and forth and printing. And while it was printing a beautiful picture, I would take my hand and slap it, and it would knock the ink cartridge completely out of it, and it would go skidding down the aisle. I'd have to say, "Oops, I'm sorry, I'll be right back." I'd walk very slowly all the way down there, pick up the ink cartridge, come back, pick it up, blow it off, put it back in the machine, and just as soon as it would click in place, the machine would re-index itself on the drive belt, and it would pick up exactly in the same place where it left off. And then after it finished that picture, and you were holding it in your hand, and you couldn't point out to me where I knocked the cartridge out of the machine, you were sold.
Right. Yep.
But people like to shop. They like to think that they've made the decision, and that's fine. We had a Comp USA that was in our parking lot. There was a Service Merchandise down the hill. There was a what's the name of it? there was about 4 computer places within a
Mhm.
mile of where we were.
Mhm.
And the people would go, okay, yeah, I like that, but I tell you what, me and my wife are gonna go grab something to eat, and we'll come back if we're interested.
Mhm.
What that means is, if they find a better deal, they're not coming back.
Right.
So I would say, okay, well, look, let me help you out. Before you leave our parking lot, as you're going down the hill, turn left and
Mhm.
go over to CompUSA and go in and get one of those to show you the printers that they have. Then
Mhm.
go down the hill and go to Service Merchandise and get those guys to show you the printers that they have. And then
Mhm.
go over to Circuit City, that's who it was. Go over there to Circuit City, do the same thing. Find your
Mhm.
salesman and get them to show you the features on their machine. I said,
Right.
and I'll see you in about an hour.
Mhm.
And I'd smile at them, and they'd go, okay. And we'd shake hands, and off they go. Well, in an hour, they'd be back standing in
Mhm.
my store, and
Right.
they'd say, we want to get this one right here. I said,
Mhm.
oh, great. Okay, here, take this ticket to the cashier, and the stock boy will get it down for you.
Yeah.
I said, but they usually go, how did you know that we'd be back in an hour? I said, because I'm a consumer too. And I know that when you walked in CompUSA, those guys are on commission. And unless you walked up in front of a high dollar item, they were hiding from you. Did you see anybody at CompUSA? Did anybody come up to you and say, hey, can I help you? And they said, no. I said, well,
There you go.
going to those printers, you just weren't spending enough money to make it worth those salesmen's time. I said, what about Service Merchandise? She said, yeah, there was this little zit-faced kid that looked like he was about 12, but he threw a bunch of words out there that we didn't know. He did not show us any printer the way that you showed us a printer. And the same thing, it was the same story everywhere they went. And they said, so
So
we like the way you did it, and we're back. And
so
I've always had that
try
ability
to
to make an
adapt that.
instant friend with somebody. Yeah,
Try to
I've
adapt
always
it
had that
whenever
ability.
you go to try to give them permission.
Absolutely. So when I go up to a door and I knock on the door, I turn on the instant friend thing. I didn't get too many no's, okay?
Mhm.
But today, there have been so many people that have given our hobby a bad eye. I'm sorry, a black eye
Mhm.
by digging on people's front yards without asking
Mhm.
and not covering up their holes or taking their trash with them. Um, they go to city parks and they go inside planted beds and they dig up the flowers if there's a signal underneath them,
Oh my
and
God.
they leave a hole, they leave their trash, they go on to the next beat.
Yep.
After you've had somebody do that to your yard, if somebody comes up to you, even me in instant friend mode,
Yeah.
they go, no,
No,
you take
no
that metal
way.
detector and get back in your car. Okay.
Yeah.
So
Exactly.
I see more and more cities enacting laws that say no metal detecting.
Mhm.
Um, and it's for that same reason. People go in parks and they're not careful. They cut through the park's low voltage wiring for their lights.
Mhm.
They cut into the poly tubes for their sprinkler system.
Yep.
They dig up flowers and plants and shrubs because there's a beep underneath it.
Right.
And it doesn't take too long before one of those lawnmowers accidentally runs over a 3-pound chunk of metal that somebody dug up and left sitting on top of the dirt,
Oh
and it
yeah. And
tears
then
up
there
one of their
goes your mower
lawnmowers,
destroyed. Yep.
or slings pieces of it and hurts somebody.
Right.
But that city will quickly enact a no metal
No.
detecting ordinance. So I
Exactly.
see that happening more and more and more. And unfortunately, unless you're willing to go to a city hall or town meeting and challenge it when they bring up the
Right.
proposal to make it
Yeah.
illegal. I'm not a political person. I have had to become several times in my life, but I still don't like it. But that's what you need to do. You don't
Mhm.
break a law. You change the law.
You changed a
If
lot.
if somebody enacts a law that says you can't metal detect at your favorite park, don't break it. Go to
Mhm.
the next city council meeting
Yeah.
and try to find out why it was enacted. Do they know the facts about metal detecting? Because if you
Mhm.
think about what we really do, Deej, just the act of metal detecting, we're just swinging that coil over the dirt.
Right.
We're not touching a thing. Okay?
Right.
So
Yeah.
metal detecting should always be allowed because
Right.
it's non-contact.
Right.
Now, recovery
But
of a
cutting,
target.
yep, cutting a plug is a different story.
Yep, yep. Um, so
Do your best to
I'm
show
actually in
your
favor.
hobby in the best light possible.
Yep, I'm actually in favor of cities that want to outlaw it to issue licenses instead.
Yeah.
That way, they've got
Absolutely.
the detectorist's attention for just a little bit, and they can show them on their application the type of hole, three-sided hole that
Yeah.
they should be digging.
And they got their name, address, phone number, so they're beholden to do the right thing.
Yep, absolutely.
Hi, David Vila.
But do what? Oh, I'm sorry.
I said hi to
But
David
yeah,
Vila instead.
I think I think our opportunities to metal detect are going to get smaller and smaller and smaller
Mhm.
as time goes on. And I think you're going to see that at some point in time, the only places that are left to open metal detect is going to be private lands that
Where
have
you
been
have
bought
no
and
equipment.
owned by metal detecting clubs. You
Yeah.
know, GPAA.
Yeah.
Um, they've got that. They've bought their claims all over the country. And
Right.
if you're in the GPAA, you go to one of their claims, and that's what you hunt.
Yep.
um, at one point in time, Deej, we had 5 Jeeps in our family,
Mm-hmm.
and we were big off-roaders.
Mm-hmm.
Now, all 3 of my kids, as they were growing up, had Jeeps, and I taught each of them how to tread lightly, how to leave an area better than it was when you came there.
Mm-hmm.
Spinning your tires doesn't do anybody any good.
Right.
And all of my kids grew up learning those rules.
Mm-hmm.
But we ran into the same thing. There were state fire roads, there were old logging roads.
That
We
you're not
would go
allowed to
up
go
all of
on.
these.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we would go up all these places way back.
Mm-hmm.
Now they've all got chains across them, and because other people went and they pushed over
Disrespectful behavior.
trees, they
Yep.
yeah, they spun their tires all over the place until they dug a big rut. They would open a gate, with 500 head of cattle, and they'd go in and chase the cows and leave the gate open.
Right.
And I see
Yes,
this
there
same
is.
thing.
Somebody just asked. Yes, Sherry Ward, there is such a thing as a detecting license, and there is one in Michigan. There are certain parks. One of my videos 3 years ago, maybe, I went to the location of a very large, expansive, miles long park to the site of an old mill site. I don't know if you remember that one. The license to metal detect in that park for the year was $5 a year. Yes. So depending on where you're at in the country, there could be licenses involved.
Right. That's another sore spot with our hobby that I've always had is that there's no universal law that tells new metal detectorists what they can and can't do. Okay.
Right.
That's why groups like what we have on Facebook
Mm-hmm.
are so important. I have a beginners metal detecting group.
Mm-hmm.
I've got one that's just open to anybody. I've got one for Birmingham, Alabama too.
Mm-hmm.
So I think there's 3 people in it. So it's not real popular. But that's where the importance of those groups shine through, is by telling a beginner where to find the law, how to obey the law,
Mm-hmm.
and how to still enjoy the hobby despite
Mm-hmm.
the law.
Right.
People have been asking me since the 70s. They'd say, "Yeah, I'd like to get into the hobby, but I don't have any good dirt."
Mm-hmm.
And I said, "What do you mean by good dirt?" And they said, "Well, like where the wagons used to cross, or where there was a big shootout. I don't have any of that." And I say, "Do you have any idea how old that dirt is that's in your backyard?"
Yeah.
And they go, "No." I'd say, millions of years.
Yeah.
Any human that has ever crossed that land at any time between the time the earth was made and today had a chance of dropping something.
Something.
And
Yep.
Indians used metal. I think there's been some of the cavemen that have been credited with trying to come up with some type of metal.
Right.
But that dirt has been there forever. So don't tell me you don't have any good dirt. It's all good. Dig it.
It's all good. Dig it. Yep.
DJ, I go to a Walmart parking lot sometimes when I've got to be somewhere and I don't really have time to do a lot of hunting. I'll go to a Walmart parking lot and I'll swing my detector over their tree islands. You know, the
Yeah.
islands out in the parking lot that's got 2 trees and
Yeah.
a lamp post.
They let you
I'll
do
swing them.
that?
Okay.
So you get permission.
Walmart
before
doesn't
you
have
do
any
it?
security.
Huh?
Walmart doesn't have any security. The
Ah,
only security that my Walmart has doesn't come on until dark. Okay.
yeah, but don't you ask
And
permission first?
I haven't,
Uh-oh.
but
Naughty.
there's no signs that say you can't. Okay. Um, and that's something else. You know, learning what the law is in your state is
Right.
so important.
So
In
important.
Alabama, if someone does not want their private property crossed, you know, like walking across or driving across, if they don't want their someone to come onto their private property, it has to be signed on all 4 sides.
Mhm.
It has to be conspicuously signed, and they have to use the word either no trespassing or private property.
Right.
And you won't find those at a Walmart, not in
Right.
Alabama. So, by my definition of Alabama's trespass law, I'm legal doing what I'm doing. Now, if they
Okay.
came out there and asked me to leave, I would apologize profusely, try to make friends with them, try to educate them a little bit, and show them that I put the dirt back. I'm not taking your dirt.
And you're
The
getting
dirt
rid of
goes
the
back in the
trash,
hole.
too.
Yeah,
You're getting
I'm
rid of
just
the-
getting the trash out of it for you.
Mhm.
But yeah, if they asked me to leave, I would, but very politely. You know, I would apologize and hopefully have an opportunity to educate them as well. But
Right.
yeah, I mean that dirt that's in that little tree island at Walmart, it might have been when they were trying to level out that parking lot for the
Or it
final
could have been
grading.
brought in from another location.
Yeah, from a Civil War farmhouse site. You know,
Yeah.
there's
don't
no
know.
telling what's in that dirt.
Right. That's true.
So
That's true.
until you swing, it's all good dirt.
Right. Your wife is going to get mad at me. We've gone a half hour over.
See, I can blame it on you.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah, well, I tell you what, I do have to go. I have thoroughly enjoyed it, Deej. I enjoy
Thank you
having
so
you
much.
in all the groups of mine that you're in. You're an
Right.
excellent member. You're an excellent spokesperson for the hobby. Um, Need to get you an ambassador tag,
Uh-huh.
metal
Thank
detecting
you.
ambassador. Hopefully, we can do this again
I
sometime
definitely
soon.
feel much safer in your Facebook group than any of the others. So definitely.
Thank you, ma'am. It all starts with the owner or the admin. If they're seeing it the right way,
Mm-hmm.
all women should feel safe.
Right.
If they're a part of the problem, you probably just need another group.
Right. Right. And you're going to find that with Facebook groups. You're going to find that with YouTube groups or YouTube channels. You might find it in metal detecting clubs. Where
Yeah, I've known of it to happen. I've never been in a club myself.
I recently stepped away from a club that I was a member of for that very reason. So it's good to be a good listener. It's good to watch people. And if you don't feel welcome, it's time to go. Don't be
Oh yeah,
afraid to
absolutely. You know,
go.
if your gut says something's not right, it probably is.
Probably isn't. That's probably true. Yep.
So, all right.
All
Well,
right.
I got to
Thank
hit the
you
road.
so much.
You're welcome. I enjoyed it, and hopefully we can do it again soon.
Okay. Thank you, Tim. Have a good night.
Bye, everybody.
Wow, what a wealth of knowledge, eh? So let's see who I may have missed. Abandoned and Forgotten Whales. Gareth in my house. From across the pond. If I've missed you in the house, please don't be offended. I was trying to do more than one thing at a time. Try to ask questions with my guest, watch the chat when I can. So let's see. So we have another giveaway. And this is going to be the biggest sticker pack giveaway I've ever done. Okay. Let's see. Let me get this all in order. So I will mail this anywhere in the world. You need to go in and put hashtag safety in capital letters. SAFETY. And I think there's about 20 stickers here. Don't quote me on it. There's a bunch. It's the biggest sticker pack I've ever given away. First one is Zero Discrimination, Gypsy Jewels. FLX. Can Do Veteran from our prospecting community. Future Bleeps from across the pond. Park Rat Pat, metal detecting in Florida. Jersey History Hunter, who's in the house. Dirt Clod Metal Detecting, who's in the house. Dan Smoking Treasures, who's in the house. Can You Dig It, Dawn and Shelley? They live stream on Thursdays. A Technetics sticker, you guys. Woohoo, these are rare. Team Lynch, Beach Metal Detectorists. Detect Dig Smile, who I met last summer in Pennsylvania. Marty's Nuts About Digging. Flash in Your Pan, who's in the house. Kay's Digging It, who's in the house. Digologist, who's in the house. Underground Buddha, Bobby. Madison, Maine. Squirrels Magnet Fishing. And me. I will send this sticker pack anywhere in the world. So if you want a chance to win a humongous sticker pack put hashtag safety in capital letters. Just like Sherry Ward has there. Okay? That's 20. You're still 29 in my house? Holy smokes. And if you enjoyed the program tonight, please give me a thumbs up, Nanette, and share it out if you think it would be advantageous to help other detectorists, male or female. That would really help me a lot. Okay, so let's see. I got to go in here. Okay, Mark Thomas was our last winner. He won a Technetics t-shirt. Or no, a Fisher t-shirt, excuse me, a Fisher t-shirt. So, we got 29 entries, it says. So get ready. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good luck, everybody. D-Spud! Congratulations! Very cool. Very cool. Let's see if I bring this back. Congratulations, D-Spud. Let's see. He's going, wow, thank you. So I hope everybody had a good time. I'm not sure what I'm going to do next Tuesday. It just depends on what's going on in my life at the moment. I had some medical tests done and I have to have a scope done. I don't know how long I'm going to have to wait to do that. I don't feel sick. I'm not in any pain other than my back. I tweaked my back a little bit. That's still healing up. I have gotten a hold of my friend, Anthony Oakland Digger, and maybe he and I can do an exploration or something, but I'm not sure what I'm going to be doing next Tuesday. So, and I will have a premiere video this Friday, and it will be metal detecting related. So thank you everybody for coming. If you enjoyed the live stream, please give me a thumbs up. Please share me out. And I'll see you guys on the next adventure. Next in line is Ed, Flash in Your Pan. His guest tonight is Hot Mess Fishing. So check it out. He starts at 8 o'clock, which is in 11 minutes. After him at 9 o'clock is Papa Roos, What's in the Dirt, Bill, who's been in the house in the chat. And he does a live stream as well. So check him out tonight, folks. And I'll see you soon. Bye, all. Thank you to my moderators and all the help I had. I don't think that we had any bad actors, so that was good. So thank you, everybody, for your support. I really appreciate you all. Good night.